Hi everyone, this is Teens Time. My name is Auntie Chichi, and I hope you have been enjoying the show so far. Yes, Teeners has come to an end. We had to put it to an end because this is special season. This is Christmas, and I had to get some teenagers in a round table for us to discuss and do a recap of what the events, the things, different things that has happened in the course of almost 10 years. We call it a decade. You know, the things that happened from 2010 to 2019 that has influenced them, impacted them, affected them, both positively and negatively. And I believe you're going to enjoy the show. I want you to sit tight and let's refresh your memory on the things that has happened in the past 10 years. Thank you for watching Teens Time. Keep watching. And this is me saying compliments of the season. Welcome to Teens Time. This is a show where we get to talk about everything that has to do with us, teenagers and young adults, and also our parents are not left out. But for want of time, I want us to talk about something that has impacted your generation. So we know this is almost like the end of a decade. What's a decade?
10 years.
It represents
10 years.
I prefer like one answer if you know it. It represents 10 years. Okay. So, and I know within these 10 years, so many things has happened in this generation. So I guess this is the 21st century. Am I correct? Yes. Is it 21st or have we entered 22nd? Yes. Okay, so I want us to talk about on a personal level how this decade has impacted you or influenced you or affected you, be it positively or negatively. Is this something we can do?
Yes.
And I know some of you are 14 going to 15, we have 15-year-olds, we have 16, we have 17. The oldest is 18, 17. So you guys are still pretty so involved in this 21st century. But I know you are not too young to know the things that has happened in the past 10 years. So I would want us to talk, if you have 2 or 3 or 4 different things that has affected you, be it, in the entertainment world, politics, whatever it is, feel free to talk about it. So I'm going to start with you, Nicholas. So introduce yourself, talk your age, your class, and then you talk.
I am Ogunji Nicholas, and I'm 16 years old. I'm in SS3. And so for the past 10 years now, I've been learning so many things about life. In school, I wasn't really sound in education like that, but due to the fact that it's a boarding school, and when I joined the school, they usually push us so that we read our books. And from there, I began to start doing well academically. When I see figures like Benjamin Carson, he was rated as the best neurosurgeon, and the kind of operation which he carried out on the 220, it influenced me, plus the help my school gave me, and so that brought me up academically.
My name is Chichi. I am 17 years old. Okay. Going to the part of my experiences for the past decade, yes. I'll first of all go in the line of academics because as a student, my priority is my education. The last 10 years was around my grade 3 or grade 4, and around then I was going through my school magazine when I came across a quote which says that life goes on. Whether a person decides to be in his room and do frivolities or decides to come out and help the world to fight his cause. This quote teaches me that even if you decide to be in your room and sleep all day, the world doesn't look at you, they don't wait for you. Life goes on. Activities continues. Whether you're alive or you're dead, activities still goes on. So one needs to fight his cause. One needs to do his best to see that life or the world at large recognizes him.
So for the past 10 years, do you think there's improvement in our educational sector in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, there is actually certain educational improvements. Because namely, the newspaper last year, it was broadcasted that 4 girls from Anambra were taken to USA for a competition they won. So this is actually one of the examples or one of the things that shows that yes, Nigeria is doing something academically.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay. I mean, you were able to prove. I don't know if it's true. I know about the girls. No, I know about the Anambra girl, but. The question is, are we doing academically? Can we stand shoulder to shoulder with the likes of China, with the likes of Singapore, with the likes of USA when it comes to academically? I know our Nigerian students,
But it's actually possible. Education here doesn't actually lie on our teachers. It lies on we, the teenagers, the students. A student that says, I will be exception, I will be exceptional, thank you. I will match up with the China kids, the American kids in terms of academics. Nothing is too impossible. Everything is possible for us to achieve.
Fantastic. Thank you. You're the one saying it. From the horses, from teenagers' mouth. Okay.
My name is Sobi Jema Amarachi. I'm 13 years old and I'm in SS stream. I'm going to talk on major problems women that undergo abortion face. As a teenager, I've experienced, I've heard and I've also read from certain books. And I'm also going to advise the people out there that people should stop undergoing abortion because it is very, very dangerous. As in, it can destroy various things, the woman's womb, as in, it can even cause brain cancer and all of that.
So in the past 10 years, do you think the abortion rates increased or decreased?
I can say that in the past 10 years that the abortion rates increased, as in it is now a normal phenomenon. Like people do it as if it is a daily routine, it's their food, as in their meal.
So have you been able to understudy the policies behind it, both in Nigeria and globally? I know there are countries that have legalized abortion.
Yes.
Do you think if you are asked to speak on behalf of teenage girls, would you say that that's the best decision?
No, abortion is not the best decision.
So legalizing it is a no-no?
Yes. As in, people should not undergo an abortion because it will not only affect them mentally, but it will also affect their health.
Okay. So you're saying in the last 10 years you feel that it has increased.
Yes.
If I ask you briefly, what do you think was the reason behind the increase?
Because teenagers they engage in early sex or unwanted, that is, they engage in this frequently. That was the major reason why the abortion
increase the rate at which young people are exposed to this habit has increased in the last 10 years.
Yes.
Okay. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Should you not agree? Do you have another opinion?
Actually, abortion decreased in the last 10 years.
How?
How? Because the young girls who got unwanted pregnancies, they now give birth to those kids.
Are you saying from research or from?
From research and from my personal opinions, because a friend just gave birth to a baby boy.
How old is she?
She's 17. So they prefer now to give birth to those kids. And one funny thing that I've discovered is that those persons that had a kid before they got married, you had a baby outside wedlock, when you now get married and want to have your kids, they don't come.
Okay, that's also your personal opinion.
Yeah.
So you are disagreeing with her. You feel that it has decreased.
It decreased.
Okay.
In the world of entertainment, I just recently listened to Cardi B's songs, Nicki Minaj's songs. It's affected me negatively because I started rapping. When I'm doing something.
Wait. So is it a bad thing to start rapping?
No, it's not. I don't say it's bad, actually, but I don't focus before, when I'm cooking, I'll find a song that goes with the food and start rapping about it.
Go ahead. Goes with what you're cooking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I don't know whether it's a negative effect, but I think it is because I now apportion a little time to my studies than with music. I listen more to rap songs.
But you know, someone would maybe think that that's your passion. You have passion to sing, to rap. Don't you think so? Or you don't think you?
I have a thing for singing, for
Okay.
music, but
Not rapping.
I don't even know how it started.
Okay, no, but let me go back to, yes, you are thinking that the distraction is a bit too much.
Yeah.
So you feel like the entertainment world, the influence of a lot of these stars.
Yeah. Yes. It's really influencing people negatively. One auntie in the cab that I took en route to this place, she had the star tattoo of Tonto Dike. So I personally, I do draw the infinity symbol on my toes. Then I asked the auntie, wow, I like your tattoo. She told me, yeah, you will love it, but don't
Do
it. I was like, wow, it's so good on her, she's fair, that kind of stuff, but she knew the negative effects of having a tattoo. She can't donate blood, she can't do stuff like that. So health-wise, it's bad.
I want to agree. I think the tattoo thing became popular this decade.
Yes.
I'm not sure it was there before now. So I feel like you've mentioned a key thing. Tattoo became like a big thing, in this generation, in this past 10 years, in this past 10. So do you want to mention another thing? Because I think I'm enjoying your especially the rapping parts. Any other thing? So you feel like that advice she gave was good.
Yes.
So even if you're thinking of getting a
I
tattoo.
want it there.
Okay. Okay.
So another thing I would like to chip in is when I was sexually assaulted by my cousin, I never expected it. I just laughed. He said something funny, so I laughed and looked at him. Then he went out of control.
Wow.
So
How old were you? How old were you when you did that?
I was 7
Wow.
when my dad died. So I was so mad because with tears of my dad's death, I really wanted to kill him there.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
How old was he?
He's 23.
Then. Wow.
So my opinion on this is that you should never be so timid to fight against people who are higher than you when they are oppressing you.
Absolutely.
You don't do that.
Absolutely.
I don't take shit from you. If you are old and you are trampling on my right, you're gonna get it from me.
Okay, so the word S is a bad word actually, I hope you know.
What?
So it's also the S word that you use. I'm trying not to use it.
Okay.
You know it's a bad word.
Okay.
And I think it's also one of the things that you guys have picked in the past decade.
Yeah.
The bad language, the F word, the S word, the M word. So that you will know and you don't use it again. But thank you for sharing, being generous enough to share your story. A lot of people don't talk about it. And I want to say that in the last decade, I think this is one of the biggest issues we have heard. We've heard it and also had. So this rate of sexual abuse, molestation just went haywire. People do it, to even their relatives, to further doing it to the child. And you're wondering what is going on, is this demonic? So I think it's one of the things that we struggle with this decade. And thank you for mentioning it on the personal level.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Okay.
My name is David Onyema. I'm in SS3. I'm 16 years of age. Well, in the last 10 years or the past 10 years, what I've actually seen that has influenced me is the aspect of sex discrimination. That is the female and the male. In those days, our parents, especially the male parents or our father figures, like as in when they go out to discuss with their fellow men, if you don't have a male child in your family, you will be seen as impotent, like you don't have anything to like boast of. If you have only a female child, then it was, let me say, it was a crime. But for the past 10 years, or for the past 10 years, it has been dissolved. Like females are now making it in the world, and that's why I've taken it as a priority that I will make myself distinguished among others, even though I'm a female, even though we are not regardless of the fact that we are also human beings. But in some people's aspects or opinions, we are not regarded as people because they believe that the males are the only ones that can make it. But nowadays in our politics, entertainment, sports, whatever you have it, you can see our females are making it and they are outstanding in whatever they decide to do today. So that's why I think it has really influenced me in a very positive way.
Absolutely.
For me to like make a distinction, or for me to be above my mates, even though I'm a female.
Fantastic. I think I want to agree with you. In the past almost 10 years, the fight for, we are not talking about feminism now or equality, but the thing is, a lot of women are being given opportunity, especially when you are exceptional. They'll be given opportunities to push their voice or to be heard just because they are exceptional. So it's also good that you are thinking, okay, I'm not just going to come out to start fighting without anything. So people just come out and want to be the best, but you have nothing to show for it. It is actually your skill or your talent or your work that will distinguish you. So I don't belong in a generation of people that I want to be equal with men, but you're not showing anything for it. There's no point for competition if you can't push anything to show for it. So thank you for that point.
My name is Edwin Precious. I'm 17 years old and I'm in SS2. The rate at which cultism is experienced is alarming. Since when they are now at the age of 14, 15 and above, they now feel they engage in cultism. Maybe they will engage for protection, for influence, for responsibility, for even recognition in schools. We now see secondary school students, they engage in cultism. They fight their teachers. At university, they fight lecturers just to get marks and other scores ahead.
So what do you think is behind it?
The reason behind this cultism, in my own opinion, I would say that they engage this for responsibility. I think it's already in Nigeria because the first that was introduced by Soya was just, it was not about killing and the rest, it was just about the opinion of the students.
Absolutely, but that's what I'm saying. How did we get to this point of taking something that was supposed to be purely, genuine students getting, seeking for what is their right, but now they are using it to attack themselves?
So it's actually a culture that we brought in. That is a movie that they've seen, they've watched it for.
So what you're saying, in essence, is the Western culture or the external culture also has somehow affected.
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Onatike Chukwuka, and I am 15 years old.
Thank you.
As we're tracing it back for the last decade, I would like to make emphasis on the level of technology being experienced. Okay. It's a normal phenomenon that is a common trend that the blacks are not good in technology, and it is something inbuilt, it's something hereditary in the lives of the whites.
Who said it?
I said it's a common trend. I never
You can't quote,
someone speak.
and I've not seen it anywhere, so that you don't misquote or you don't. I think it's a mindset. Do you understand? So that people don't watch it and they say, Chichi, why are you allowing this on your show? It's not a common, and a lot of people, we even give a lot of young Africans that are doing it well in technology world. You won't even, I know of even someone that sold an app to a big, yes, so take it, retrace that word.
Okay.
Continue.
Technology is a general let me say, it's like a general right to everyone. Everyone has the right to make improvements in technology.
So do you think we have, in the last 10 years, how has technology impacted, influenced or affected us?
Okay, actually, technology is improving day by day, and it has helped in the areas of saving lives and other aspects of humanity.
And I feel this generation, you guys are in heaven, let me use that word, you guys are enjoying the more because technology has simplified a lot of things. We've not had it any better, any generation. So in the past 10 years, almost 10 years, we've seen it evolve big time. Like from just normal computer, this big thing that looks like TV, now having laptops and all that, iPod, iPad, blah blah blah.
My name is Umoka Chimeze and I'm 14 years old. As for me, I can say that for the past decade, that the bad influence of social media has increased.
Absolutely.
Yes, because the children in our society today, the teenagers, the young people, they now spend most of their time searching unnecessary things in social media platforms, and this tends to pose a bad influence in their lives because social media was not purposely meant for students who are still in school. It was targeted to improve the rate of communication through this platform, but students now abuse it. They are exposed to pornography and they spend much of their time doing what is not right and is not advisable. And I also think that social media since the past 10 years has gotten to another level. Its exposure is now exposed to the extent that everyone now has access to it. Earlier, social media was meant for people who are old enough to...
Earlier, was there social media earlier? I think even social media was giving birth in this past decade.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
I stand corrected. I don't know, I can't remember the exact dates that Facebook came about, but I know Instagram and they were all giving birth this decade. Even Twitter was there a little bit earlier, but they fully took shape in 2011, either 2010 or 2011. So I don't think we were, even WhatsApp was giving birth in this decade. So I'm going to agree with you. I think that's one of the biggest woes or biggest things that are against us. A lot of our young people are now abusing it, like you said. So it's one of the biggest woes. So if we are looking at the pros and cons, it's going to be in the side of where? In the side of where?
It depends
Pro, con. Huge advantages and huge. I think it's both involved. It's both involved. So thank you for that.
I'm Chimbo Futo. I'm 15 years old. I think for the past decade now, the agricultural sector has been facing a major setback in our beloved country, Nigeria. Most people think that agriculture is Neolithic, is something for the old men and women, but I don't think so. I think the agricultural sector is just life, is just what keeps us, and if care is not taken, I think we may be facing kind of famine, even though we may not see it. But nowadays, youths are just at they don't put more into agriculture,
How did we get here? How did we get to that point where we don't know about agriculture? Because I mean, you just made a lot of sense.
I think our parents also constitute a major challenge in most youths and things. They don't inculcate in them the fact that agriculture is what provides everything for us.
Absolutely.
So if they do so, I think our teens will be looking more into agriculture as it's a major source of income, and I think it is a very good substitute for the petroleum, which is our major export good in Nigeria. So if we look more into agriculture, I will, in my own opinion, I know that it will be absolutely good and make Nigeria stand tall among.
Absolutely, I think you made a lot of sense. How many of us have gone in the last decade? We have gone to the farm, not to escort anybody or to escort your grandma. You have gone to just bend down and just do it. Let me see your hand. Are you sure? The way you raise your hand, you're not even sure. We are not up to 10. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. So you made a lot of sense, and I want to agree with you. If we don't take this seriously, trust me, in the next 10 years, we will not even remember what is agriculture. Like, I can't remember the last time I went to the farm was like so many years ago. So many years ago. And I can't remember that. I've never taken my children. So my oldest is 11. I've never taken him to go to the farm and bend down. But you have put this in my head. I think I need to do that. Thank you.
My name is Kelechi Umerili, or just call me by my first name, Kelechi. Now,
how old are you?
I'm 16. Now, and that means at the start of the decade I was 6.
Exactly.
So to talk about what has happened between 6 and 16, it's massive.
Yes.
Like, we've had technological advancements. I mean, we started the decade with our button phones, but now we have smartphones.
Absolutely.
We have dishwashers, we have washing machines, we have a lot of things. So to talk about what exactly the major thing we are experiencing as in the major development this decade is going to be very difficult. But I would just like to say something. I think one thing I've noticed in with these 10 years is that youths are teenagers who are given more opportunities, which coincidentally is the name of this show, Teens Time. So I feel like this decade is the time for teenagers. I mean, I feel like we're given an equal playing ground with the adults. I mean, you hear teenagers making it in life, even at a young age. I mean, you have people in the sporting section, you have in the entertainment, you have educationally, you have everywhere given equal opportunities. Like, even with this now, this here is an opportunity for youths, let me not use the word students, for youths in general to be a part of leadership, to take part in leadership, to understand what it's about. I mean, you see teenagers making it in life. In football, I mean, let me use Nigeria. I mean, for instance, now you have Ian Achok, Kelechi Achok. He's 22, or he should be 23 by now.
Bempe, is it Bampe or what?
Mbappe is 19.
19, yeah.
He's 19, but he's already earning more than most of adults.
Let's bring it down to our parents.
Most
of our parents, the money that